Russians are the Russians after all, and Anton Golotsutskov had a 9.137 on floor exercise. That's not very strong, and here he is on pommel horse.
And Leonid Arkayev, who's the head coach for both the men and the women in Russia, is pretty high on this young man. But we are seeing a different kind of Russian gymnast. In the past, you would never see a performance like this from a Russian. They would not get to a world championships if their body had this type of lack of extension, if the form.
There would be plenty others along the way that would definitely be able to take this man's place, for sure. The form, it just wasn't there.
Just the system is really starting to catch up with them now.
It's disappointing.
You have...
Well, it's a country that's reinventing itself.
It is. There are much fewer incentives. There are much fewer coaches. The program is not the same. They are holding on, but mostly because of gymnasts from the past, like Nemov.
Tatsuya Yamada of Japan. I'll tell you what, and in Los Angeles, like many American cities, you can come from virtually anywhere in the world and find a neighborhood to go to. And of course, there's a Chinatown here, and there's a huge Korean neighborhood. There's probably 100 Japanese fans here waving the Japanese flags throughout various parts of the arena, so they've got to feel fairly comfortable.
One of the strongest guys in the competition, his coach, Mr. Kano, felt that he was a contender to win an individual event medal at these championships. And the Japanese are very unique at these championships. Most of the teams, I believe all of the teams except for Japan, chose their team like they would be competing. That means that they didn't choose just all-around gymnasts like all of the countries did many years ago. Japan, however, went straight rank order in the all-around.
And the two teammates before him scored big with 9.537, 9.65. This is going to get a great score.
Gonna get a big number, but he didn't keep those feet still when he hit the ground, so could have been a 10th higher.
Looks happy about it. Golotsutskov, 9.237 after a 9.137 on the floor. Russia's got to pick it up. Japan now threatening to move ahead of Russia with that score over 9.6 by Yamada. The United States and our first look at Blaine Wilson in the World Championships team final. The United States on the rings as we continue. They try to hold on to second spot and defend their silver medal from the last World Championships. This continues from the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, California. Al Troutwig, Tim Daggett, Elfie Schlegel, Andrea Joyce, and now Raj Bhavsar of the American team.
Now, Al, remember I talked about the Japanese team choosing their squad completely by rank order in the all-around. Raj fits the USA team very well. He fills some holes. They needed a super strong guy on the still rings, and he fits that bill extremely well.
Again, 6 athletes to choose from, 3 per event, keep all 3 scores, and this sets the tone for the Olympics in 2004.
It does. This format was used for the first time at the 2001 World Championships. It will be the same format come time in Athens. Big dismount, double twisting, double laid out, somersault.
Well, you said he fills the need.
He sure does. And this guy, I tell you, he's one of those guys that he can be so much better in a meet than he has been training in practice. He is a gamer.
And now Jason Gatson, who wants to get as far away as he possibly can from his 8.975 debut on floor exercise. But yet this appearance at the World Championships has to mean so much to him, beyond words, really. 9.612 for Raj Bhavsar.
The one thing that Jason benefited from by the knee injuries, he was always a big, strong-looking kid, but really lacked in the still rings area, being able to do those very intensive strength parts. And with the knee injury, he had the opportunity to spend so much time both in the weight room and working on these individual strength parts. He has become, well, he's massive, as you can see, but he is now able to do remarkable strength combinations.
And Al, you talked about the look. Here is a look of real strain.
Tim, I'm glad you mentioned the weight room, because I never would have known.
Went from what used to be unquestionably his weakest event to quite possibly his best event. USA did not stick very well the first night.
Oh, they have now. That's an official welcome back to Jason Gatson.
The USA needed to average a 9.75 to catch the Chinese on this event. I think he'll be close to that number.
Let's go, Wilson.
And there's an energy building here in this arena. And now back to Blaine Wilson. It seems as though he has been part of the American gymnastics effort forever. 5 straight U.S. national titles. Now married and a dad and changing priorities. And Gatson does get Tim a 9.712. He's got to feel like he's made a major contribution now today. There's the United States start. Blaine Wilson as the anchor.
And those are gigantic numbers for this team. Of all the events for Blaine Wilson, this is one that I've never seen him miss on still rings. I've never seen him miss. The only question is going to come down to the landing, if he's going to stick it. This is as good as money in the bank as you can get. Told me after day one he was very disappointed in his landings, was standing up too quickly, had to stay down long to stick the landing.
And the United States goes back to back to back. And the energy of a crowd can do many things. At times it seems to elevate teams to do things that didn't seem possible. The United States has always thought it was possible. The crowd giving them energy, but it can't make them stick those landings like that. And now the numbers go into the computer, and we'll see whether the United States, as we've come to the midway point in this Team World Championship, has caught China. Blaine Wilson, a 9.737.
Good job, guys.
Halfway done in the World Championship men's team finals. The United States has made a move. They trail China by 0.2. Japan has climbed